What's going on, everybody? Hopefully you're having a great morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're tuning in the world. My name is EQ. Welcome to EQ Trades. Today we're going to be talking about Celestia, which is an up-and-coming crypto project that we've seen a lot of hype recently, especially through the news and on social media. But before we get into all that, if you could take a second to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already and throw a like on the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. And it's also important to note that none of this is financial advice. I was not paid or did not get any sort of promotional value to talk about Celestia. I'm just talking about it because I think that there's a lot of potential upside and I like the project. And the final point is that I am not currently invested in Celestia and do not own any sort of investment in Celestia. But now that we got all of that out of the way, let's talk about this project, also known as $TIA. Now, this is going to be the first modular blockchain network. Modular meaning that basically how the blockchain works is that there's going to be two consensus layers that the blockchain is talking on, and Celestia made it so that both of these different layers are going to be communicating on one modular layer, which in turn makes for a smoother and faster blockchain communication. Now, the easiest way that I can explain Celestia in layman terms would be that it functions similar to a layer 0, which allows you to build layer 1s on top of it, and then uses a layer 2 element through rollups in order to communicate with other blockchains like the Ethereum blockchain, for example. You can literally build whatever you want on Celestia and it'll allow you to communicate with any other blockchain as well. And one of the big components of Celestia is going to be the data availability sampling, or DAS. And essentially what that means is that on a traditional blockchain, the node is going to require all of the information, which can be pretty heavy in terms of space. So what Celestia was able to figure out was what's called core sampling or small sampling. And through running light nodes, it takes a fraction of the entire node and is able to verify and process that, which in turn makes the transaction a lot faster, saves a lot of space, and is exactly what you would need from an actual scaling solution. Now, here's some of the apps that are currently built in the Celestia ecosystem. There are a lot of names on here that you've probably noticed, like Arbitrum, Cartesi, Cosmology, Cosmwasm, Gelato, Manta Network, Marlin. The list goes on and on. I can keep naming them off. OP Stack, Polygon, CDK, Radius. So you can see there's already a lot of ecosystems that are built within Celestia, and they also have a lot of institutional money, which is also a good thing to see. So where I think Celestia is going to crush it in the retail market is going to be in these light nodes, where you can get access and create your own node on Celestia with your phone, with your laptop, with a PC, with really any device. Because it's only taking a small sample, it doesn't require a massive piece of machinery to take in that information and be part of the system. So if you scroll down a little bit on this page, they'll show 3 different ways that you can actually do this. Beginner, deploying a light node in 2 commands, or you can power up a light node in under 3 minutes, or you can do it with the command line if you're more advanced. But they do have multiple ways that you can join the network and get a node going. And by having a node, you're going to start earning these TIA tokens as well. Before we get into all the price action talk, I did want to talk about their founders too, because I think their team is stacked, but it's also in a very interesting way. So the 3 founders are Ismail Kofi, John Adler, and Mustafa Al-Bassam. We'll start with Mustafa because he's probably the most notorious one of the group. Now, when he was 16, he was actually part of a big hacking group. He was affiliated with Anonymous, and he actually ended up getting arrested when he was a minor and serving a little bit of time. And some of the organizations that he targeted during a 50-day hacking spree were Sony, Fox, Nintendo, and even the CIA. Which then after this, he ended up going to get a computer science degree, and then he also created Chainspace, and the company Chainspace was actually acquired by Facebook and purchased by Facebook, I think in 2019. So you can say he's pretty skilled in the computer science space. Then there's John Adler, who ironically enough created the optimistic rollup design. So not just someone that worked in optimistic rollups, but created the optimistic rollup. And then the third person, Ismail Kofi, was actually one of the core developers for the Cosmos ecosystem, which is one of the main reasons why the whole system can operate like a layer 0 similar to the Cosmos ecosystem. Now, Celestia is currently trading at $6.84, ranked number 65 on the top 100 list, and it's currently up 14.6% in the last 24 hours. There's an infinite supply, which means that this is inflationary, but it's typical of what you would see with the utility project, so that you have a proper use of minting and burning mechanisms. And when you go down, you can see a Celestia available on Cosmos and on the secret ecosystems, and in base of categories, you can see there is a lot of institutional money that is also invested in Celestia. which we also know that means that they're going to want their returns and their money back at some point. And if you really want to get into the in-depths of what Celestia is and how the blockchain actually works, I would highly suggest watching this video through CoinGecko. It's a great video, about 10 minutes, and it'll go way more in depth than I'm doing in this video. This is more for the trader's perspective. That's going to be more for just specific blockchain explanation. Now, looking at the long-term chart for TIA, we can see that the point of control, or the VRVP, started from October 31st all the way to November, basically, let's say about 2 weeks. This was the most buying power that we saw so far through this entire push of TIA. Now, we did see this reach an all-time high of about $21, and using a Fibonacci retracement, we can see the price did pull all the way down to the 78.60. We are seeing a bullish crossover currently on the daily chart, and price was able to test this long-term support. The support previously pushed to all-time highs, so it's good to see that we did see a retest here, and price start to push up. We're seeing 2 strong days of movement on Celestia. And I do like the long-term potential. Even on this Fibonacci retracement, we can see take profit 3 is going to be all the way up at $37. So this does have a lot of room to grow. The market cap is good. I do like the project long-term and where they are going. Now, keep in mind, price action is all going to be correlated directly to what's happening with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin decides to want to pull down, ideally, I would like to see this come back and retest the $5 area. If not, even better, we could test this $2.22 area and range. Those would both be great and ideal buying opportunities. But again, I would really like to see this essentially pull back down. I'm watching on the long term for some weakness on Bitcoin. We talk about that in the EPIQ Trading Floor. So if you want to join us, you can hit the link in the description, or I'll tag it in this video, which you can also get access to for 7 days for free. But I'm not going to buy it on these 2 hot days. I think this will start to cool down eventually in the next couple days, maybe even in the next couple dollars. But when we do get a retest confirmation, maybe a double bottom or a lower high with some sort of divergence, or a retest of this point of control for volume on the long run, I would really like to see that, and those would be great buying opportunities for me personally. If you found anything useful in this video, make sure to hit that follow button. If you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe to this channel. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will catch you on the next video.